rectangular box with the word subscribe on it. And remember, if you enjoyed this video, click on the thumbs up under the screen. Ready to get started on today's topic? I want to talk about credit scores. What are they? Why do they matter? And is yours helping or hurting you? Let's start with the basics. What is a credit score? A credit score is what credit reporting agencies use to determine if you are financially healthy. It helps them decide if you should get credit, like for credit cards, or a loan, like to buy a car. It's a ranking to figure out if you are a risk for borrowing money. Your financial history, your salary, any debts you are carrying, or credit card bills you may already have, these kinds of things are indicators whether you are likely to pay your bills or if you'll try to skip out of town when they're due. So we have to ask, why is it important to have a good credit score? There are positive reasons, the benefits of having a good credit score. You want to buy a new car, but you need a loan that will give you a low down payment and low monthly payments. You won't get it if you don't have a good credit score. You'll want to buy a house one day. A mortgage will need a good credit score. You need a credit card. You want a personal loan to do an addition on a house. You want to borrow money to start a new business or even go on a big vacation. Whatever it is, you are going to need to show the creditors that you are responsible with your money and that they can be trusted with the money that they will lend you. If you don't have a good credit score, what are the consequences? It's like that old friend, we'll call him Steve, who is always asking for loans but always forgets to pay them back. Until now, you lent Steve small amounts, $20 here, maybe you were super generous or very crazy and you lent them $50. And you pretty much know you'll never see the money again. So what happens when one day, out of the blue, he shows up at your door and wants to borrow $5,000? Do you lend it to him? Chances are you are going to respond with a big fat no. Because until now, he hasn't shown you that there's any chance you'll get your money back. You know his money borrowing history, so you know to be smart. Credit scores are pretty much the same thing. It helps lending companies be smart about you. And by the way, if you have a good credit score, not only can you get loans, but you may be able to get lower interest rates on loans you take out. But if you don't have a great score, if you are lucky enough to get any credit, you may get stuck with higher interest rates on the loans. Speaking of good scores, we all want the credit companies giving us a big thumbs up. And I'd also love it if you could take a minute and give this video a thumbs up too. And click the subscribe button right under this video. So now, let's understand the actual numbers of credit scores. Credit scores range from 300 to 800. 300 is the lowest and 800 is the best. If you are in the 300 to 629 range, that is really bad. No one wants to come near you. No one wants to lend you money or give you a credit card. Now obviously, if you are at 600, that's bad, but it's better than 300. You are closer to getting a higher score and being on stable ground. But if you are in the 630 to 689 range, you are doing okay. What the creditors would call fair. Don't anticipate that anyone is going to want to lend you money. You'd probably need to get one of those credit cards where you have to put down money first. But you are getting closer to a decent score. If you are at the 690 to 719 score, you are getting much warmer. You have a good credit score. Not everyone is going to be running after you, but you likely can get some loans. You'll get credit cards, but with relatively low cap. And remember, the lower your credit score, even if they give you a loan or credit card, they still consider you a risk, so they could charge you higher interest. Another reason to work on getting your credit rating higher, you really want to get to the 720 to 850 range. That is piping hot. Almost everyone is going to be throwing money at you. And you know what? You can do it. It doesn't matter where you are today. Stay with me, and we can get you there. That's why you should click on the subscribe button under this video, so you'll be able to stay informed with my videos that will show you how to raise your credit score, how to get credit, and even better, how to manage your money and invest it well, no matter how little you have to start with, so you can get rich and have a financially easier life. What many people want to know is, how is a credit score calculated? There are essentially three major credit reporting companies: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Those are the big bosses. They run the show in the credit world. These companies look at the information they have accumulated in your credit reports. They calculate your score based on these important bits of information. Number one, about 35% of your credit score is based on whether you have paid your bills on time until now. Your payment history is really important, so make sure that if you haven't been paying all of your bills on time until now, you start doing it. Let me say that again. The best way to get good credit is to pay your bills on time. The second most important information for your credit score is how much money you owe. About 30% of your score considers this. This is important for people who want to start investing money. It's often better to pay off old debt before you start investing money in other places. But this may be dependent on what kind of debt. Like, if you have a mortgage that you are paying over 30 years and are making the monthly payments on time, that is different than if you are carrying a big credit card debt and missing payments. Number three, next up on what's considered is your credit rating. About 15% of your score is based on the length of your credit history. That's why it's good to build your credit early and keep it good, so that you have a positive, strong, and long history. Number four, what kind of credit you have so far is also looked at. About 10% of your score is based on what you have in credit. Do you have a mortgage? What credit cards? Are you making payments on the car? Things like that. And number five, finally, the last 10% is how much credit do you have now? How many credit cards or loans are you carrying? So you know you need to have a good credit score, but yours isn't in good shape now. Either because you've been negligent or because you actually have not been building credit. You have been using a debit card, not a credit card. You have never taken out a loan. So how long does it really take to improve your credit score? To be honest, there's not a real defined amount of time. There's no quick and easy answer. There are so many things that are considered in the credit score and improving it. For example, if you try to take on new credit cards, that can sometimes hurt your credit score. If you have something really big in your life, or I should say really big on your file, like bankruptcy, that can really take time to cover. If you have something really big on your file, like a bankruptcy, that can really take some time to recover from. You have to look at what's weighing down your credit score. Is it big loans, like a car loan or mortgage with delinquent payments? Or is it credit card debt? If it is the smaller scale, like credit cards, sometimes within a few months your credit score can start to recover. But if you had a home foreclosure, or if you filed for bankruptcy or something big like that, well, you aren't going to like this, but it could even take up to 7 years to fix that. Now, don't freak out yet. Whether you don't have any credit yet or you need to fix a bad score, there are steps you can take to get things back in order as fast as possible. And remember, sometimes it's not your own fault. Maybe you went through a bad divorce and your ex messed you over. Yes, you will pay the price. But hey, get your ex back by cleaning up your credit score as quickly as possible. So what exactly should you do? I'm so glad you asked. Here's what comes next. You have to watch the next segment of Improving Your Credit Scores, where I give you very specific steps to improve it, and even to get a perfect score. But wait, before you go and watch that, take 20 seconds and do two important things. First, subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red rectangular below this button, and give this video a thumbs up. That's how your score will go. That's how your score will go up in my book. Raise your ranking with me by doing those two little things. This is Andrew Gitt, and as I'm signing off until next time, remember, if you want to make money today, learn how to invest right and without delay. Over and out.